Hello, everyone. Hi, it's Monday night. It is October 25th. My name is Dee Corchin. We are here for the Coaches Up for Change weekly team call. I'm glad you're here. I see a couple of new faces, and whether you're brand new to our team or coaching for years, Monday nights are the best. They are the time that we come together on this call. For those that can join on the community calls later, Dan Bell's call, we just know the importance of learning and growing, and personal development is all part of the journey when you're an Optavia coach. So thanks for making the decision to be on today. For those of you guys who attended Breakthrough to Excellence, did you love it? Yeah, get kind of like hands up in the air if you got a lot out of it. Yeah, I saw a lot of your comments in the coaches group for thanks for that feedback. And now the exciting part, we'll be putting this into application. So we're going to do a couple of things that are fun tonight. And as I described last week, what I have learned and what we know is that other people's stories are what often move us and also bring us closer together as a community. So many of us as coaches have personal journeys that we may or may not be aware of. But also when I notice that somebody has kind of an epiphany or a shift in their mindset that's making a difference in their business that I think other people can benefit from, I think it's important to share. So tonight, really excited that Michelle Levy is going to share with us tonight, all the way from Maine. Her internet is a little shaky, so let's all send her some positive mojo that it will stay on. And Michelle, if you could just take a couple of minutes to share about your journey, especially these shifts you've had recently in supporting other people and coaching.
Great. Thanks, Dee. Yes, some of you know me and some of you might not, but I began my journey as a client on June 5th of 2020. And I was in a really broken place when I first started. I was really struggling physically. I was pretty much walking with a walker or a cane all the time. I had some physical challenges, like I had open heart surgery in 2014 and then a major car accident in 2016. And I was really in a very debilitated place when I started. But thanks to my coach, Nanon Morrison, who shared the program with me, it really was an answer to prayer for me. And I knew that something was different. 2 weeks later, I really felt this like internal cellular kind of change happening. And I just had this epiphany at the time, like I have to share this with everybody. Everybody needs to know about this. So 2 weeks into my journey, I became a coach. I think I had only lost about 7 pounds at the time. And that's when I made my decision, like, I'm going for this. I have to help people. People need to know about this. So, since then, I've lost 78 pounds, and I've been maintaining my weight loss for the last 8 months or so. And I can't believe that I'm actually maintaining my weight, because you know how that is with so many other programs. You get to your weight, you go off, and then you're back to your old habits. But that's where this program has made such an amazing difference in my life. So, so that's kind of where I'm at now. And, you know, I've been a coach now for a while. And just recently, though, I've been doing the Habit Finders coaching with my husband in a group setting. And not that we don't have excellent training here, but there are some things that I've been learning there that have really helped me to see some things that I could be doing differently that I wasn't doing. So one of the things that was pointed out to us a couple of weeks ago is about where we show up, how we show up, and how we're expending our energy. And they really helped us to take a look at, where are we spending that energy? With whom are we spending it? Because I was feeling exhausted at the end of a day, at the end of the week. I could barely function mentally, because I was just pouring myself out and pouring myself out and pouring myself out. So they really helped us categorize, who are the people we're spending time with. And I know it sounds a little stark or whatever, but there are certain groups of people that are ready and are motivated and are ready to take off, even as clients or coaches. And what I found myself doing is spending more time and more energy trying to get people to do things that I could see for themselves, see that they had the potential to do, but weren't quite ready to do it on their own. And so I was just really exhausted from that. So I made this mental switch that it's not that I'm not going to show up for them or be there for them, but my energy might be slightly different. Like it's a difference between being a friend and being there to support and then really mentoring somebody. There's a different energy that takes place. So I made that mental switch. And so now I feel more invigorated, and that's coming across to my clients, that's coming across to my coaches. And I have more capacity to do more things, to be more creative, to think differently, because I'm not exhausting myself in the same way. The other big mental shift that I had was not chasing my rank. I'm extremely competitive, and I'm an achiever. Like when you do those personality things, I always come out as an achiever. So one of the things that I was finding is that because I was putting my energy in trying to, get people to do, like motivate them, be there for them, and try to get them to do, like what I needed them to do, rather than where are you? How can I help you achieve what you want? What kind of capacity do you have to get to where you want to be? And once I made that switch, instead of like, I've got to make this rank, I've got to get, 5 more people, I've got to do this, I got to do that, blah, blah, blah. Instead of really focusing on my coaches and what do they need? What are their goals? Because their goals aren't necessarily my goals, right? What they have the capacity to do is not necessarily what I can see them doing eventually. So that was a huge shift. So just in the last couple of weeks, I have 3 new coaches that have come on board. And yeah, like all one after the other. And so it's been a very busy and exciting time this week in training them and helping them. And as a matter of fact, I think all 3 of them are going to hit senior coach this month, because they are just on fire for helping other people. And but the difference is that they each have a different reason to come on board. Now, in the past, I would have just, again, superimposed what I needed on them instead of helping them get what they want. And so one is a doctor, and she had a change in her circumstances. We did a coach explore with her. She wasn't even a client yet. We did a coach explore, and then soon after she became a coach. And now, as a matter, I don't even know if she's on the call because she's signing up another client. So, and she just signed up a client not an hour ago. So she's absolutely on fire, really helping other people. And another person that came on board had been a client and said, I do want to coach, but I'm not going to do it until the new year. So we did a celebration and a tips call with her, and really helped her to see that she would be a great coach. And she knows that, but it wasn't quite her timing. But she decided to put a post out there about her transformation. And so, boom, all these people are poking their heads up. So she's like, Michelle, I guess I'm jumping on board before I thought. And again, she's doing really well, and she's helping a lot of people. And then my third person is again a great client, has had great success, but was a little hesitant to become a coach. And then she just texted me, said, Michelle, I'm doing this. I'm just going to do it. And she has already like 3 clients already, and she's going to have another 2 in the next few days. So, and it's really just about helping them, not about my rank or getting to where I need to be, but just helping them get the success and training them and being with them and running alongside them as fast as they want to go, or as slow as they want to go. So that's
Thank
kind
you
of
for
where that's
that.
at. Yeah.
I hope you see the chat blowing up. Michelle, thank you for sharing your story. I can even feel a difference in your aura. Like just the way that you're just calmer and talking to people and coming alongside them. And that's why it's happening. So I hope everybody caught that, right? Like everybody came on for a different reason and it was fitting their needs. So that is such a good tee up into what we're going to even talk about tonight in terms of why we talk to our clients, why we provide client support, why we come alongside them and what they need. So thank you, and keep rolling with that. That is working for you.
Thanks.
We have 25% of the month left, you guys. We have 1 week left in the month. So much happens in an Optavia world in the last 7 days. So as you are looking out to your goals, who else can you help this month? Just really encourage you to stretch. Like now is a time to kind of go full force in to your goals. I mean, even if every one of us helped one more person than we thought we were going to this month, that would make a tremendous difference in the health of other people. So really keep that forward thinking. Was what I encourage you to do. And I know a few of you are running for the Dan Bell Business Integration Summit. This is our last month of qualification. Hook up with your coach. You can reach to me if we need to be creative with ideas to help you get there. And lastly, just wanted to remind you that in Atlanta, we've got our Atlanta regional event coming up on November 6th. I know of one coach that's coming down from Kentucky for it. You are welcome no matter where you live to come and join us at this event. And if you live local, of course, we don't miss it. And this is also a client celebration. We want to invite our clients. We're doing lots of client features and stories. We'll have a free gift for them. There's a client a swap and a great opportunity to invite your candidates too for both the program and for coaching. So I'm going to launch a poll. Got great feedback on our poll last time. So I'm going to launch this and give you about a minute to fill this out. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Stop it. I won't stop it. Hopefully that came down. Let's try this one. Okay, so the poll is up right now with client support. So your answers are anonymous. So that's when it comes to client support, the first choice is I find it easier to text rather than call and talk to my clients. The second one is I try to call my clients every week, but they often don't answer or we play phone tag. And the third one is I have a schedule and a system to talk to most and talk to most of my clients on a weekly basis. So that'll just give us a good idea as we are heading into this conversation. Okay, I got about 10 more seconds. So if you haven't voted yet, go ahead. Okay, so that is really good to know. If I'm not sure if you can see the answers, let me see if I'll share the results with you. So about 24% of us are finding it easier to text our clients rather than call. About almost 40%, 39%, we try, but we're kind of hit or miss on whether we reach them. And then about 50% of us are saying we've got a pretty good system going on. So good. Well, we always know wherever we are, even that 50%, there's always room for a little bit of improvement or refinement. So thanks for taking time with that. Are you guys liking these fancy tools, the polls and the things like that? Well, based on the feedback we got on the health assessment and establishing best practices, we really thought it would be a good idea, especially now as we're heading into the end of the year. We've got Halloween coming up this week. That's like the start of the holiday season. That we're going to talk about the importance and help you guys with some ideas on how to simplify your client support and most importantly, create a system and some structure around it. Tonight, after this call, the coach community call is on effective questions for your clients. So if you're thinking about, well, what do I say when I reach them? That's going to be covered in the call that's after this. We're trying not to duplicate. And then next week, we're going to do a full training on how to coach your clients through the holidays. So tonight, Regional Director, Integrated Regional Director, Julie Apple, one of our most experienced client coaches and one of our best coaches in terms of client support and generating referrals and creating coaches, is Julie Apple. So Julie, I'm going to go ahead and toss the ball to you because I know you got a lot of great stuff to cover.
Oh, hey guys, thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to get to share with you guys because I have been coaching about 6.5 years, and I think most of that time I have probably had about, 40 active clients. So I support a lot of clients regularly. And I think one thing that I would find helpful if you guys also, in addition to the poll, is want to put in the chat how many clients, if you had to guesstimate, how many clients you try to connect with each week, because I think that will help you decide what kind of system and if you're doing it the best way. So if you can put in the chat, do you support maybe 5 clients a week? Are you talking to 15? Are you talking to 50? Because that will help you think through this as we're talking through systems. And I will tell you that my systems have shifted as I've had different seasons of life. This is helpful. Okay, so 40, awesome. Some people 2, some 5, some 15. Okay, this is good to hear. So when I first started coaching, I had one system. I've morphed to a couple through the time, but I did want to start with something that I think you guys will all resonate with. Dee and I were actually talking about this last week. So I'm going to role play with you for just a second. And it sounds like a lot of us just text our clients weekly. So imagine you're texting a client and you get this text from your coach. Hey, Dee, how are you doing today? How's this week been? Well, they write back, it's been good. What do you say to text back? What's a good thing? What's been good this week? Tell me something to celebrate. It feels so cold, right? Like there's no like unity in this conversation when you're texting. So imagine now we're going to do a phone call and we're going to help you with this system of, if you don't have it in a good place, we'll help you with this system. Imagine you're calling. Hey, Dee, it's so good to catch you this week. How are you doing? It's been a good week, but I'll tell you, I'm a little nervous that Halloween's coming this weekend. I think I really need some guidance with how to handle the holidays. What do you suggest? And can you help me with that? All right. So those are two totally different relationships, right? And that's the importance of talking to your clients and not just texting. Because if you're texting, it goes, pretty much nowhere. It's going to be very empty. And I know that because I have a lot of clients that I'm just like, if we're going to text, where's this going? I'm not going to help you integrate. I'm not going to help you long-term. So why am I doing this? So my encouragement, and I'm going to share a list with you of some don'ts to start with, and then some definite do's. So if you guys are taking notes, you'll just want to jot down some of the things that I've learned over the years and coaches on my team, we've learned. Definitely don't want to operate this way. So there are 4 of them that I will highlight. There's lots more, but the 4 that I want to highlight for you guys are what we just went over. Don't just text your clients. So if you're texting, you obviously see where this goes. It's not long-term. So make sure that's not your practice. And if you're unsure of what to say and how to do this, we're going to talk about that in a minute, of how to set up a system, but also lean into your coach about how to do it more effectively. The other thing is, I've learned, do not be available 24/7. If you try to be available and respond immediately, it exhausts you and it creates this expectation from your clients that you're available all the time, which is not necessarily duplicatable or what they want long-term if they were to coach. So that also leads to my next point is, don't respond to your texts or phone calls immediately. I work with Amy Kemp, and that was one thing we talked about just recently, is she has said to me, if you teach your clients that you're available to take their texts right away, they are going to expect that all the time. And it's creating an unrealistic expectation. So I used to be that coach, and that leads to my last point, is don't be the hero coach. And I still struggle with it, if I'm being honest, because my background's in personal training. And so I want to be this hero for my clients. And so I'll give you a good example that I'm sure you guys can relate to. But the the funny thing is I have a friend that just started program and she's on week 3. We were just literally talking before this call for her check-in. And she texted me probably all the time, regularly. Can I eat this? Hey, is this approved on plan? I mean, she even asked me last night, are onions okay on plan? And I had a call with her last week and we actually started talking about coaching. And guess what she said to me? Julie, I don't have time for all these texts. All the texts that I sent you and you had to respond to, I don't have time for clients to text me all these things. I'm like, no wonder she wouldn't want to coach. She doesn't have time. She's a realtor. She doesn't have time to respond to 10,000 more texts from clients. So I told her, I said, you know what? That's when you teach your clients, there's tools for that. Hey, go check the guide. And so I started using that as an example for her last night. I said, if you go look in the guide, it'll tell you about onions. And so I have to train clients. And I'm sharing that with you because I'm sure it may be something that you've crossed this bridge as well, but don't be a hero coach because it will only backfire when you want to help your clients become coaches because they'll feel like overwhelmed from the get-go. So that's the list of don'ts. The list of do's that I think will help you, it's definitely helped me, is creating a system to reach out and how to support your clients. So when I first started coaching, I did not have a great system. It was more of, I have 10 clients. I'll just try to catch them sometime during the week. Hopefully I'll get them. And I realized, oh, I'm not catching people. I'm not talking to them. How am I going to support these clients? So I created a system. And what I did is I put in my binder when I started having a lot of clients and was checking in with like 40 and 50 clients a week. I created days that I was going to do support days and I put my clients in those days. So I maybe had 10 on Monday, 10 on Tuesday, 10 on Wednesday. That's just what worked for me. You may have 30 all on Monday, but I'd encourage you to work with your coach. What's the best way to support those clients? Is it going to be one day a week, a couple days a week, or a couple hours each evening if you work full time, or a pocket on Saturday for 3 hours? Whatever is good for you. I would encourage you to set a system and decide, which I will tell you in just a minute, some of those different systems, but I want you to just write down, have a system. The other next point is own your role as a coach and be confident. It can be like probably a little bit intimidating if you're a new coach on what to say. Like I have a couple new coaches right now. How do you respond to a client? We had one today, her brand new client day one said, I am miserable. I have a headache. I've taken 3 Advil and I am feeling terrible. What am I going to do? And so thankfully my new coach put us all in a group text and we have been able to go back and forth. So it's us working together. It's not just her on her own. So if you guys are feeling unconfident and not prepared, that is one of my other points, is make sure you're still in a thread with your coach so that you are able to go back and forth with your clients if you're texting throughout the week, not for their check-in, but just throughout the week as they're starting. Be in a thread until you feel confident being solo and running solo. So that's the third point, is make sure you're in that thread. The fourth point is to set the expectations and explain upfront how this coaching works, because I've actually had clients ask me, and I'm sure you guys have too, is, so what does this look like? It will help you so much to lay the groundwork at the front end and tell them, this is what it looks like. I'm going to check in with you these next 4 days because I want to make sure you get into fat burn. From there, we're going to set our week 1 call. So if you're starting today, next Monday, we're going to make sure we check in. I have my clients text me that morning for their week check-in and they'll tell me their weight. And then we plan a few minutes from there. You may have a different system, but that's how I check in. We're going to talk on Monday for your week. And then from there, if you want to continue on Mondays, we'll continue on Mondays. Otherwise, we can pick a different day and that's going to be your week check-in. We're going to do a quick 5 to 10 minute call just to make sure that we have things to celebrate. You're moving forward. If there's any challenges, that's what we'll talk about. And I lay that groundwork right from the get-go, so clients know exactly what this looks like. So it's not them texting me every single day. What is this? Hey, can you help me with this? Like, lay the groundwork, tell them up front. It will work so much smoother for you. And then my last point for this, for your dues, is to make sure that you're integrating your clients into the other tools. So make sure you're using the Facebook group, telling them about it, tagging them in the fat burn post, tagging them in the welcome post. Use the Facebook group, have them introduce themselves, and then make sure you're connecting them to the Monday night calls. Grab that photo that somebody from our coach group post in the Eat, Live, and Be group and send it to your clients. I sent it to a few today. Hey, they're talking about choices tonight versus cheating. You may want to check this out. Text it to your clients. Grab that stuff and make sure your clients are aware of all the tools there are. And then the other last part is make sure they're in the books. And so when you do a celebration call, that's a great time. You'll see your coach ask, hey, are you in the books? Tell me about it. If you're not doing it, make sure you're doing those celebrations so that your coach can ask that too. So it's just a checks and balance system. So that's the do's. So you've got your do's, you've got your don'ts. The fourth thing I wanted to make sure we go over before our time's up is talking through some different systems for check-ins. And I think there's probably a bunch of systems. If we were all to list it here, everybody might have the ones that are using a system. When I first started coaching, I was telling you it was a bit messy. And then for a while I had everybody on a day and I called clients and I was single and I had time. So I was able to catch my clients during the times that we set. And then last year I had a baby and my whole world changed. And I was like, I don't have time to call all these clients every week. So I switched to a system where I decided to text my clients. All right, where normal days are Mondays. I'm going to text, hey, Ashton, today's week 1. How are you doing? Tell me when's good for you to catch up if you want to this week. I made it my job to reach out, initiate. If they want to talk, they can bounce back and we'll schedule a call. If they're not engaged, I'm going to keep texting and calling the other clients that are engaged because I don't have time to talk to all these people every week if they're not engaged and they're not wanting this coach relationship. So I have a different system now. I think one of the other systems that some coaches use, which I'm getting ready to switch to myself, is using the Calendly link. And you can do that different ways. Is send out your link via email, maybe on Sunday or Monday, or in individual text, send that Calendly link and say, hey, I'd love to connect with you, set up a time, here you go. And so there's different systems. And if you're unsure of what's best for you, definitely talk to your mentor coach and we can help you. I love seeing, okay, how you guys are doing it. So sending out links sounds like it's working well for a lot of people. So there's different systems. The last thing I was going to share with you guys is a quote that I heard on Saturday. And I have heard it over and over, and I'm sure you guys have too. But it's, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And so that's like what I keep thinking. Am I helping my clients by giving them a fish, or am I teaching them to fish? And so that's my encouragement, is what are you guys doing?
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. So helpful. I hope you see the text blowing up there. And I do want to just reinforce and edify what Julie said, is that your system can evolve. That's the great thing about this business, is that you can redesign it. I have changed gears probably 10 times in my 10 years of coaching. And as Julie said, as your client base increases, you will probably need a different system. When you're a newer coach, you don't really need to invest in Calendly, which is like a $10 a month program. You can probably navigate that on your own, unless you bring on 17 to 20 clients right away. But at the end of the day, we do need a system. And I'll tell you, if you don't have a system, we all resist it, right? We're entrepreneurs. I think they say 98% of us resist structure. But otherwise, what can happen is the noise in our head is louder than actually the work it takes to actually put a system in place and talk to our clients. It can swirl in our head like we've got so much to do and how are we going to do this, et cetera. But when we actually sit down and do it, it narrows down and it doesn't take that long. One question I saw in the chat was, what do you do if you're trying to call and your clients aren't answering and they're not interested? They don't want the coaching. And Julie, I think if you want to touch on that, I think it goes back to the beginning of when you're establishing your relationship and establishing what the expectation is, correct?
Mm-hmm. And I think making sure, is this what you want? Like when we're doing this, do you want to check in weekly? And finding out from them, what do they want? Because if they stop answering, then you can go back and say, did you still want to check in? Are you still on plan? Like, tell me about this.
Yeah.
Dig.
Dig and be careful. I mean, I love what you said, Julie, about owning your role as a health coach. Most people don't know what they don't know, right? And they don't understand the value of it. So it is up to us to educate them on why this makes a difference for them, why clients that talk to their coach each week lose twice as much weight than those that don't. And that's according to the National Institute of Health. So it is our role to educate. And I know Lori Cole does a great job basically saying like, hey, here's the deal. If you want to be my client, you got to be in your book. You got to take my call. All right. Like Lori, I mean, you really seem to have switched into this ownership role. And when she brings me her people for her tips calls, they're doing it because she set this expectation is that this is what this program is about. Lori, do you want to pop in for a second about that?
Yeah, I do. The other thing I do is right before at the end of the health assessment, I'll say on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you? And I learned that from one of the trainings. And if they come in at a 5, I'll say, you know what, a 5, this is a hard journey, and a 5 just might not get you there. So I would like to talk to you when you're around an 8 or a 9. And that's when we can truly get to the pain point and get to work. And I found that just being really honest, like, here's what I need. This is my role and this is your role. And setting that expectation up front, and then texting them and saying, I haven't heard from you. Let's hop on, and just being super, expecting that the first few weeks kind of trains them up in that.
Yeah, posturing it for them. Like maybe you're not ready for our program, and really questioning, right? Like, am I just so anxious for clients? We're not about getting clients. We're about helping clients create lifelong transformation. And it's not easy, and not everyone is going to go the full journey or on the same path or at the pace we want and all of that. But it's our role to keep the ball moving down the court, right? In whatever way that it will look like. So thank you, Julie. Thank you, Michelle, for opening us with that inspiration. Again, next week, we're actually going to do a specific training on coaching through the holidays, because we're heading into the slip sliding. I always say it starts with the candy corn, right? So we already know 2021 has been a slip sliding year. Stay in touch with your clients when they're moving orders, talk to them, what's going on. I will tell you, it's like a gym membership. If they're not canceling, they're still in the game. They have it still show up because they know they want to do this. It's just, and so they might just need our voice, our encouragement in that process. I'll let you guys hop over. Tonight's client call is on choices versus cheating. Our coach call is on asking effective questions. And then I'm actually going to be have the honor of facilitating Dan's Bell's call at 9, which is a community call. So you're welcome to join us with that too. So thank you again, everybody. We'll see you during the week and on next week's call. Thanks.